Hello, everyone. Welcome to Daily Listening English. Today's lesson is about to begin. Let's learn, listen, and speak English together.
Your brain cannot finish understanding one sentence before the next one starts. In that moment, a quiet thought appears. Maybe my English is still weak. I want to stop you right there. That thought is wrong. You do not have a weak English brain. You have an untrained English ear. That is why English lessons feel easy, but real conversations feel hard. The words are not new. The sound is just different. You know the meaning, but you cannot catch it fast enough. This is a strange pain, and many learners never talk about it. It feels unfair. You studied the words, you learned the grammar, you spent months, maybe years, trying to improve. And still, real English enters your ear, and your confidence drops. But listen carefully. Your English is not weak. Your ear is simply not trained yet for real English. Let me explain something important. There is a big difference between learning English and real English. Lesson English is clean and slow. It is made for learners. Real English is different. It moves fast. Words connect together. Some sounds disappear. Real English carries emotion and rhythm because it is made for real people talking to real people, not for students. For example, a teacher might say clearly, "What are you going to do?" But in real fast conversation, this often sounds completely different. The words connect and change shape. This is the hidden reason you can read English easily, but cannot always hear it easily. Your eyes are good at reading English. Your mind understands the grammar. But your ear has not learned yet how English sounds when people speak fast and naturally. This is also why subtitles feel easy, but listening without them feels hard. Subtitles give your eyes time to help your brain. But real listening does not wait for you. The conversation just keeps moving. So from today, stop saying, "I am bad at listening." Start saying, "My English ear needs training." This one change matters a lot. It takes away the shame, and it gives you a plan instead. Listening is not a talent for lucky people. Listening is a skill. You can build it with the right method. Here is the first big secret of that method. You do not need to understand every single word by itself. You need to hear small groups of words together, called chunks. A chunk is simply a group of words that go together as one piece of meaning, like "I don't know" or "at the same time." When you learn to hear chunks instead of single words, English feels much less frightening. We will talk more about chunks very soon, but first, let's talk about the real reason fast English feels so hard. Here is the real problem. It is not that native speakers talk too fast. It is not that your brain is too slow either. The real problem is that your mind is trying to do too many jobs at the same time. First, your ear hears the sound. Then your brain tries to catch the words. Then your mind tries to translate those words into your own language. Then it tries to understand the meaning. Then it tries to prepare an answer. That is 5 jobs all at once. While your brain is busy doing all this, the speaker keeps talking, so you fall behind. You are stuck trying to understand a sentence that has already finished. This is why translation is dangerous for listening. Translation can help you when you read, because reading gives you time. You can stop. You can go back. But listening happens in real time. Spoken English never waits for you to translate. When you translate, you are always one step behind. And being one step behind is exactly what makes fast English feel like pressure. Many learners think translation is a safe bridge, but in listening, translation becomes a wall instead. It blocks the direct path between the English sound and the English meaning. Let me give you an example. Imagine someone says, "I'm running late." A trained ear does not stop to translate each word. It understands right away. This person is late. But an untrained ear hears the sentence and starts thinking. Running means running with your legs. Late means not on time. What does this mean collectively? By the time that brain finishes thinking, the speaker has already said a whole new sentence. So what is the real goal? The goal is to understand English directly without going through your own language first. When you hear "that makes sense," your brain should feel the meaning right away. When you hear "I see what you mean," your brain should understand the idea instantly, not break it into grammar pieces. This is exactly how fluent listeners work. They do not translate every word. They recognize the meaning instantly because they have heard the same sounds and phrases many, many times before. Strong connections have already formed in their brain between the English sound and the English meaning. Your brain can build these same connections too, but it needs training, it needs repetition, and it needs patience. Here is your first practical step. Stop asking yourself, "What is the translation?" Start asking, "What is the meaning?" These two questions are not the same. Translation turns English into another language, and it makes your brain slow. Meaning keeps English inside English, and it makes your brain fast and direct. One powerful practice is called meaning repetition. Take one short sentence. For example, "I know what you mean." Do not translate it. Instead, imagine a real situation. Someone is explaining something, and you really do understand them. Now say the sentence again and feel that exact meaning as you say it. Another powerful practice is called picture listening. When you hear a sentence, try to make a small picture in your mind instead of translating it. If you hear, "She walked into the room," picture the action happening. If you hear, "He forgot his keys," picture that exact situation. Pictures are faster than translation. Feelings are faster than translation. This is exactly how children learn their first language. They never translate. They simply connect the sound directly to the meaning and to real life. Now let's talk about chunks in more detail, because this is one of the biggest secrets to understanding fast English. Fluent listeners do not listen word by word. They listen in chunks, small groups of words that work together as one piece of meaning. For example, when someone says, "I don't know what you mean," a fluent listener does not hear 6 separate words. They hear one complete idea, arriving as a single unit. This is why chunks are so powerful. They reduce pressure. They make listening faster. They let your brain understand meaning without stopping to analyze every single word. Once your ear learns chunks, English stops sounding like random noise. It starts sounding like familiar patterns that repeat again and again. You begin to recognize phrases before you even fully think about them. You hear, "at the end of the day," and you instantly know the speaker is about to say something final. You hear, "to be honest with you," and you instantly know something direct is coming next. This is exactly why someone can know thousands of English words on paper and still struggle badly in real conversation. Meanwhile, another learner with fewer words understands better, simply because their ear already knows common spoken chunks. Vocabulary alone is never enough. Your ear must also learn how words actually live together in real speech. If you only memorize the single word "depend," you know one word. But if you learn the chunk "it depends," you can use a real, natural spoken phrase immediately. Think of it this way. Words are like separate bricks. Chunks are like whole walls, already built and ready to use. This is exactly why learning chunks makes your listening faster, and it makes your speaking smoother at the very same time. So how do you actually train this? Choose a short piece of audio, just 1 minute long. Listen to it once, without subtitles. Then listen again, and this time, notice any phrases that repeat. Do not write down every single word. Write down useful chunks instead. Maybe you catch one of the biggest reasons, or at the same time. These are golden pieces. These are exactly the phrases your ear needs. After you collect 3 to 5 chunks, listen again, and this time focus only on those chunks. Notice how they actually sound in real, natural speech. Notice if the words connect together. Notice which word carries the most stress. Then say that chunk out loud, exactly like the speaker did, with the same natural rhythm. Do not say it slowly, like you are reading from a page. This is the moment your ear and your mouth finally start working together as one team. Now let's go even deeper into something most learners completely ignore. This is called the hidden music of English. English is not spoken the same way it is written. It is not simply words placed in order on a page. It is sound, it is rhythm, it is stress, it is emotion, speed, and music, all mixed together. When learners study only through books, they naturally believe every word should sound clear and equal and separate. But real English does not work that way at all. Some words become strong, some words become weak, some sounds disappear completely, some sentences rise like a real question, some sentences fall like a final decision. Until your ear learns this hidden music, fast English will always feel harder than it really needs to be. English has a heartbeat, and that heartbeat is called stress. Not every word in a sentence gets the same amount of energy. The important words, the ones that carry the real meaning, are usually stressed strongly. The smaller, supporting words are often much weaker. If your ear tries to hear every single word with equal weight, you will struggle. But once your ear learns to follow only the stressed words, the meaning becomes much clearer. You stop chasing every tiny sound, and you start following the main message instead. Let me show you a truly amazing example of how powerful stress can be. Take this sentence. I didn't say he stole the money, just 7 words. Now listen carefully to how the meaning can completely change. If the speaker stresses the word I, it quietly suggests that someone else may have said it. Now listen to this next one. If the speaker stresses the word say, it suggests they only hinted at it, without saying it directly. Now here is another. If the speaker stresses the word he, it suggests someone else entirely stole the money. And one more. If the speaker stresses the word money, it suggests he may have stolen something completely different instead. The exact same 7 words. But the entire meaning changes, depending only on which single word carries the stress. This is the real power hidden inside English music. Most learners only focus on vocabulary, and they completely miss this. In real conversations, stress works like a flashlight. It shows you exactly where the speaker wants your attention to go. Once you learn to follow that flashlight, listening becomes both easier and much deeper at the same time. Linking is another important part of this hidden music. Linking simply means the end of one word connects to the beginning of the next word. Native speakers rarely stop cleanly after every single word. They connect words together to keep their speech smooth. For example, turn off often sounds like one single connected sound, not 2 separate words. Many learners believe they are simply missing words when they listen. But sometimes, those words were never missing at all. They were just connected together, and your ear did not recognize them, because it was still expecting a clean, clear separation between each word. There is also something called reduction, which works alongside linking. Reduction means small grammar words like to, of, for, and are often become weaker in natural speech. This happens because the language gives more energy to the important words and less energy to these small, supporting words. The speaker is not hiding anything from you. This is simply how the language naturally breathes when people talk. And finally, tone matters just as much as stress and linking. The exact same words can mean completely different things, depending only on how they are said. A person can say, "That's great," with real, genuine happiness, or they can say the exact same words, "That's great," with clear sarcasm instead. The words stay identical, but the music underneath them completely changes the real meaning. So what is the best way to train this hidden music? Deep, active listening works far better than passive listening for hours. Choose one short piece of audio and listen to it 5 separate times, each time with a different, clear goal. The first time, listen only for the general meaning. The second time, listen only for which words feel stressed. The third time, listen only for which small words became weaker or softer. The fourth time, copy the natural rhythm out loud with your own voice. The fifth time, close your eyes and simply listen again until the sentence finally feels completely natural to you. This kind of focused, active listening teaches your brain far more in just 1 single minute than 30 minutes of random, passive listening ever could. Passive listening only exposes you to sound. Active listening actually trains real recognition. This brings us naturally to repetition itself. Most learners are not failing because they do not listen enough. They are failing because they listen in the wrong way. They keep jumping from one video to another, one podcast to another, believing that more content will automatically create fluency. But listening once to many different things only gives your ear exposure. Listening many times to the right thing gives your ear real training instead. Think about a song in English for a moment. The very first time you hear it, the lyrics might sound completely unclear. You might catch only a few scattered words. But after hearing that same song many times, you suddenly start singing along, almost without any effort at all. You recognize the rhythm. You can predict the next line before it even arrives. You understand words that once felt completely hidden from you. What actually changed here? It was never the song itself. The song stayed exactly the same the whole time. What changed was that your brain became deeply familiar with that particular sound. This exact same idea can train your English ear just as powerfully. The very first time you listen to something new, your brain is under heavy pressure. It is trying to catch sounds, recognize words, follow the rhythm, and control panic all at the same time. But the second time you listen, your brain is no longer completely surprised. And by the 5th or 6th time, the same audio that once felt impossibly fast begins to feel noticeably slower. The speaker never actually slowed down at all. Your ear simply became faster instead. There are 3 real levels worth training through repetition. The first level is understanding, where you listen until you truly know what the audio means. The second level is recognition, where you listen until your ear can catch the actual words without needing any subtitles at all. The third level is production, where you shadow and repeat until your own mouth can finally say those same patterns naturally and smoothly. Most learners unfortunately stop at level 1. They understand the meaning just once, and then they quickly move on to something new. But real fluency needs you to stay with the material until recognition becomes fast and production becomes truly possible. Now let's talk about subtitles specifically, because many learners use them the wrong way. Both depending on subtitles completely and avoiding them completely are equally weak strategies. Here is a smarter system instead. First, listen without any subtitles at all, and let your ear genuinely try on its own. Second, listen again without subtitles, and try to catch even more than before. Third, only now, check the subtitles or transcript to see exactly what you missed. Notice the real difference between what you thought you heard and what was actually said. This exact moment is where your ear learns the most. Fourth, remove the subtitles completely and listen one more time. Now your ear will finally hear what your eyes just helped it notice moments before. This is how subtitles become a real training tool instead of becoming a permanent crutch that keeps your ear weak forever. Now we arrive at shadowing, which is the true bridge between your ear and your own mouth. There comes a point in every serious learner's journey when listening alone is simply not enough anymore. You might listen every single day. You understand more words. You recognize more chunks. Your ear genuinely feels stronger. But when it is finally time to speak, your mouth still feels slow. Your brain understands the sentence perfectly, but your tongue simply cannot produce it fast enough. Shadowing is not just repeating English. It trains your ear, your brain, and your mouth, all at the exact same time. You listen to a speaker, and then you repeat right after them, as closely as you can. You copy their rhythm. You copy their stress. You copy their pronunciation, their emotion, their speed, and their natural flow, all at once. This is exactly why shadowing works so well as a bridge. Listening alone only trains recognition. Shadowing specifically trains reaction, and real conversation needs reaction more than anything else. At first, shadowing will probably feel uncomfortable. That is completely normal. You might feel behind, you might miss certain words, you might sound strange to your own ears. But that discomfort is not failure. It is simply proof that your mouth is learning a brand new physical movement, the same way muscles naturally shake a little when they are actively growing stronger. There are 3 useful levels of shadowing worth knowing. The first level is listening and repeating shadowing. You listen to one sentence, pause completely, and then repeat it. This works best for beginners or for genuinely difficult audio. The second level is delayed shadowing. You listen and repeat just half a second behind the speaker without ever fully pausing. This builds real speed and natural rhythm. The third level is simultaneous shadowing. You speak almost exactly alongside the speaker, in real time, copying their flow directly. This advanced level should only come once your ear feels genuinely ready. Do not rush straight to the highest level. A strong foundation always matters more than raw speed. Here is one especially important detail. Show real emotion, not just with correct sound. If the speaker sounds excited, copy that excitement fully. If the speaker sounds calm and serious, copy that same calm seriousness. This might feel strange at first, but it is genuinely powerful. Real communication is always emotional at its core. If you only copy the bare words, without any feeling behind them, your English may still sound completely flat, even if it is technically correct. You should also focus your shadowing on useful, real phrases, rather than random sentences you will probably never actually use. Phrases like, "I know what you mean," "That makes sense," "I was just about to say that," or "It depends on the situation," are worth shadowing again and again. When you shadow useful phrases like these, your brain quietly stores them as ready-made speaking tools for later. In a real conversation, you will not need to build every sentence completely from zero. Your mouth will already know the phrase. Your ear will already know its rhythm. Your brain will already know its exact meaning. One wonderfully practical method here is called shadow and speak. Shadow a short piece of audio for around 5 minutes, then pause everything completely and speak for 1 full minute about that exact same topic, but now using your own original words. Do not write anything down first. Do not translate anything first. Simply speak freely. If you stumble or make a mistake, just continue speaking anyway. This method teaches your brain to move from pure imitation into genuine self-expression, and this is exactly where real fluency begins to grow. Question shadowing works wonderfully too. Shadow common, everyday questions, like "What do you think about that?" or "Can you explain that again?" until they sound completely natural in your own voice. Then practice answering them yourself, without ever writing anything down first. Storytelling shadowing is equally valuable, since stories naturally contain past tense forms, real emotion, clear sequence, and natural connecting words, like one day, after that, or suddenly. These are exactly the patterns that help you eventually tell your own personal stories with genuine confidence and ease. Now let's bring every single piece of this together into one complete, simple daily routine you can start using tomorrow morning. First, choose a short audio clip, ideally just 1 to 2 minutes long. Listen to it once, completely without subtitles, and ask yourself only one simple question. What is the general main idea here? Second, listen to that same clip again, and this time, try to catch some familiar chunks and recognizable phrases. Celebrate every single chunk you successfully recognize as a real, genuine small win. Third, now check the subtitles or transcript carefully. Honestly compare what you actually heard against what was genuinely said. Ask yourself clearly, was that word simply too fast? Or was it connected to another word? Or was it reduced in natural speech? Fourth, return to the audio and listen again several times, specifically to the parts you initially missed, until that particular sound becomes genuinely familiar to your ear. Fifth, shadow that short audio out loud, carefully copying the natural rhythm, the correct stress, and the genuine emotion behind it. Do not simply read the words slowly and flatly. Sixth, collect just 3 useful chunks from that specific audio. Not 20, not 50. Just 3 meaningful ones. Then actively create your own brand new example sentences, using each one. Seventh, and finally, speak completely on your own for 1 full minute about that exact same general topic, using at least 1 or 2 of the chunks you just collected and practiced. This complete 7-step routine does not need to take very long at all. If you are genuinely busy, you can comfortably complete it in around 15 focused minutes total. What actually matters here is consistency, not raw intensity. A learner who dedicates just 15 focused minutes daily for 6 full months will typically pass a learner who occasionally studies for 3 hours just once in a while. Why? Because your brain changes and adapts through repeated, regular contact over time, not through occasional bursts of intense but temporary effort. If you happen to miss a single day somewhere along the way, do not let guilt take over and cause you to quietly disappear for weeks afterward. A genuinely serious learner is never someone who literally never misses a single day. A genuinely serious learner is simply someone who returns quickly and consistently afterward. On days when you feel particularly tired or busy, do a smaller version of the routine instead. Listen for just 5 minutes. Shadow only 3 sentences. Collect just 1 single chunk. Speak for only 30 seconds. A small, imperfect routine that actually gets completed will always beat a perfect routine that gets quietly skipped entirely. Let me tell you exactly what to expect, week by week, because many learners quit right before they would have seen real progress. In week 1, everything still feels fast. You might only catch 1 or 2 chunks per audio clip. This is completely normal. Do not judge yourself yet. In week 2, something small starts to shift. A few familiar phrases begin to feel lighter, less like a wall of sound. In week 3, your shadowing starts to sound smoother, even if your ear still misses plenty of words. In week 4, you may notice you are not translating certain common phrases anymore. They simply arrive as meaning. This is the real turning point, and it usually happens quietly, without any dramatic moment. So do not measure your progress only by how much you understand today. Measure it by comparing this week to 3 weeks ago. That comparison is where you will actually see your ear changing. Imagine clearly what this daily routine looks like after 30 consistent days. You will have listened deeply to many short audios. You will have repeated genuinely difficult sentences until they finally opened up for you. You will have shadowed real, natural rhythm many times over. You will have collected dozens of genuinely useful chunks along the way. Your ear will not be exactly the same as before. Your mouth will not be exactly the same as before. Your overall confidence will not be exactly the same as before. After 90 consistent days, your brain will begin to expect English quite differently than it once did. You will recognize common phrases noticeably faster. You will panic considerably less often. And your habit of translating everything will grow measurably weaker, simply because English has finally begun entering your mind far more directly than before. This is not magic in any sense. This is simply the natural, predictable result of genuine daily routine and consistent practice. So remember this one final truth clearly. Fast English is not truly your enemy. Native speakers are not secretly speaking just to defeat you somehow. Your brain was never actually broken, and your memory was never genuinely weak. The real problem all along was simply this. Your ear was never properly trained for the true, natural sound of real English. You studied words carefully on written pages. You watched lessons with subtitles, helping you along the way. You understood the grammar rules slowly and carefully. But real English never truly enters anyone's life through a textbook alone. Real English enters specifically through sound, through speed, through rhythm, through chunks, through genuine emotion, and through natural flowing speech. This is precisely why this method exists. Not to hand you yet another list of dry grammar rules, but to genuinely teach you how to train the actual doorway through which real English finally reaches your brain. That doorway has always been your ear. So choose one short audio today. Listen without subtitles. Check honestly what you missed. Repeat the genuinely difficult lines. Shadow the speaker's natural rhythm. Collect 3 truly useful chunks and speak freely for 1 full minute. Then simply do it all again tomorrow. That is how your English ear finally gets built. One honest, focused session at a time.